Imagine coming home to absolute silence, not the awkward kind, but the peaceful kind. No compromises, no arguments, no expectations to fulfill. Just you, your thoughts, and the freedom to live life exactly as you choose. Society often tells us that happiness is only real when shared, that a man without a partner is incomplete, lost, or somehow missing out. But what if the opposite were true? What if solitude was not loneliness, but power? A man who lives alone without a girlfriend is often met with curiosity, sometimes even pity. People assume he must be searching, struggling, or avoiding commitment. Yet, they rarely consider the possibility that he might have chosen this path, not out of failure, but out of strength. In a world that constantly pushes the idea of relationships as the ultimate goal, he stands as proof that fulfillment can be found within. This speech is not about glorifying solitude or dismissing relationships. It's about understanding the unique journey of a man who walks alone not because he has to, but because he wants to. His challenges, his triumphs, his freedom. This is his story, one that deserves to be heard, free from judgment and expectation. Independence and self-sufficiency define a man who lives alone, without a girlfriend. This lifestyle requires him to manage every aspect of his life on his own, from finances and household responsibilities to emotional well-being and decision-making. Unlike those who rely on a partner for support, he learns to navigate life independently, developing a resilience that shapes his character and strengthens his ability to face challenges head-on. This kind of self-reliance is not just about surviving on his own, but thriving without the need for constant external validation or assistance. When a man lives alone, he becomes entirely responsible for his own well-being. He learns to manage his finances efficiently, ensuring that bills are paid on time, savings are built, and investments are made wisely. Without the influence or expectations of a partner, he has the freedom to set financial goals based on his own priorities. This financial independence teaches him discipline and accountability, as there is no one else to share the burden or rescue him from poor financial decisions. Every expense, every investment, and every financial move is solely his responsibility, pushing him to develop a strategic mindset regarding money. Beyond financial responsibility, living alone requires him to master domestic responsibility. Cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping, laundry. These are tasks that some men might otherwise delegate to a partner in a relationship. However, a man who lives alone has no such luxury. He learns to take care of himself in a way that fosters self-sufficiency. The ability to cook a meal, maintain a clean living space, and manage household chores is not just about survival. It's about cultivating a lifestyle of self-respect and discipline. He doesn't rely on someone else to ensure his home is in order. He does it himself, reinforcing his ability to function independently. Another crucial aspect of independence is emotional resilience. In relationships, individuals often depend on their partners for emotional support, comfort, and encouragement. A man who lives alone does not have this immediate source of emotional validation. Instead, he must develop a strong sense of self-awareness and emotional intelligence to handle life's ups and downs. He learns to process his emotions internally, finding ways to stay motivated, overcome setbacks, and maintain his mental well-being. This could mean engaging in hobbies, practicing mindfulness, or seeking personal growth through reading, journaling, or meditation. By handling his emotions on his own, he becomes emotionally self-sufficient, reducing the need for external reassurance or validation. Decision-making is another area where his independence is tested and strengthened. In a relationship, decisions, whether big or small, are often made collectively. A man who lives alone, however, makes decisions solely for himself. Whether it's choosing a career path, relocating to a new city, or even deciding how to spend his weekends, he does not have to consider another person's preferences or opinions. This level of autonomy sharpens his decision-making skills as he learns to trust his judgment and take full responsibility for the consequences of his choices. This fosters confidence in his ability to navigate life on his own terms. Self-sufficiency also extends to his personal growth and self-improvement. Without the influence of a partner, he has the freedom to focus on his ambitions, aspirations, and passions without compromise. He can dedicate his time to learning new skills, advancing in his career, or engaging in activities that bring him fulfillment. He is not bound by the expectations or schedules of another person, giving him the flexibility to explore his interests at his own pace. This pursuit of growth fosters a mindset of continuous self-improvement, pushing him to evolve and refine his abilities in various aspects of life. Living alone also means that he must build a strong support system outside of a romantic relationship. While he does not have a girlfriend for emotional or social companionship, he cultivates meaningful friendships. These relationships are not driven by dependency, but by genuine connection and mutual support. He understands the value of maintaining a strong social network while also enjoying the peace that comes with solitude. Through independence and self-sufficiency, a man who lives alone gains a deeper understanding of himself. He is not defined by a relationship, but by his own actions, values, and personal achievements. This lifestyle is not about avoiding relationships, but about embracing the ability to function and thrive independently. Freedom and control are two of the most defining aspects of a man who lives alone without a girlfriend. His life is not dictated by the compromises and adjustments that come with a romantic relationship. Every decision he makes is entirely his own, and his time, space, and energy are devoted to his own desires, ambitions, and goals. This sense of autonomy allows him to shape his life exactly how he envisions it, without the need to consider or accommodate another person's preferences or expectations. One of the most significant ways this manifests is in his daily routine. A man who lives alone has complete authority over how he structures his day. He wakes up and goes to sleep at times that suit him best, eats meals according to his own schedule, and engages in activities that he enjoys without worrying about whether they align with someone else's needs. If he wants to work late into the night, he can do so without feeling guilty for neglecting a partner. If he chooses to spend a weekend alone in deep thought, reading, or engaging in his hobbies, there is no pressure to balance that time with another person's expectation. This unrestricted control over his time allows him to be highly productive, deeply introspective, and fully immersed in his interests without interruption. His personal space is another major area where he exercises total control. When a man shares his home with a partner, decisions about decoration, cleanliness, and organization often require compromise. However, a man who lives alone has the final say in every aspect of his living environment. He decides how his home looks, what kind of furniture suits his style, and how he wants to organize his space. His home is a direct reflection of his personality, and he can create an environment that makes him feel the most comfortable and inspired. There is no need to explain why he wants certain things a certain way, or to adjust his preferences to accommodate another person's taste. His freedom extends beyond just his home and routine. It influences his overall lifestyle and ambitions. In relationships, major life decisions such as career moves, relocation, or personal development often require discussions and agreements between partners. But for a man who lives alone, these decisions are his alone to make. If an exciting job opportunity arises in a different city, he can take it without hesitation. If he wants to take risks in his career, invest in a passion project, or dedicate himself to an unconventional lifestyle, he can do so without the need to consider how it will impact a partner. This ability to make bold choices without external constraints enables him to pursue his goals with complete focus and commitment. Even in social relationships, he enjoys the freedom to spend time with whoever he wants, whenever he wants, without the complications that come with being in a relationship. He does not have to check in with a partner before making plans, nor does he need to balance his friendships with the expectations of a romantic relationship. He can build and maintain friendships based purely on his own interests and values, engaging in social activities that align with his personality, rather than adjusting to fit someone else's social circle. Another significant advantage of his freedom is the ability to prioritize self-improvement. Many people in relationships naturally divert some of their attention and energy toward their partner, which can sometimes slow down their personal growth. A man who lives alone, however, has the luxury of dedicating himself entirely to his self-development. He can set goals for his physical health, mental well-being, and intellectual pursuits without compromise. If he decides to adopt a strict fitness routine, learn a new skill, or explore new philosophies, he does so without the distractions or influences of a relationship. His mind remains clear and his focus remains sharp, allowing him to become the best version of himself. The freedom of solitude also gives him the opportunity to travel on his own terms. He does not need to wait for another person to agree on a destination, schedule, or budget. If he wants to take an impromptu trip, immerse himself in a new culture, or embark on a journey of self-discovery, he can do so without restrictions. Traveling alone also strengthens his independence as he learns to navigate unfamiliar environments, make quick decisions, and embrace the unknown without the security of a companion. Ultimately, the control he has over his life is not about rejecting companionship, but about embracing the ability to design his own path without external influence. This level of autonomy allows him to shape his destiny, move at his own pace, and live a life that is fully aligned with his values and aspirations. Personal growth and focus are defining aspects of a man who lives alone without a girlfriend. Without the distractions and compromises that come with a relationship, he has the opportunity to dedicate his time, energy, and intention entirely to his self-improvement and ambition. His path is clear, his goals are his own, and he moves forward at his own pace without the need to adjust for another person's expectations or emotional needs. This level of focus allows him to develop a deep sense of purpose and direction, making continuous progress in various aspects of his life. One of the most significant benefits of living alone is the ability to pursue intellectual growth without external distraction. He has the time and mental space to read, research, and learn about topics that interest him. Whether it's diving into philosophy, studying history, learning a new language, or mastering a technical skill, he has complete control over his intellectual journey. His ability to focus without interruption allows him to absorb and retain knowledge at a deeper level, giving him an advantage in personal and professional growth. He does not have to explain why he spends hours reading or why he is so deeply invested in a particular subject. His intellectual curiosity is allowed to thrive without limits. His professional life also benefits immensely from his focused lifestyle. Without the demands of a relationship, he can dedicate himself entirely to his career. He has the freedom to work late hours, take on challenging projects, and make bold career moves without considering how they will impact a partner. He can take risks, relocate for better opportunities, or invest more time in perfecting his craft without feeling guilty for neglecting someone else. This level of dedication often results in significant career advancement, financial stability, and the ability to build something meaningful in his field. He is able to develop a strong work ethic, discipline, and expertise in his profession, positioning himself as a leader in his industry. Physical health and fitness become a top priority for a man who lives alone. With no external pressures or time constraints from a relationship, he can structure his fitness routine exactly as he wants. He has the time to work out consistently, experiment with different forms of exercise, and adopt a diet that aligns with his health goals. Whether he wants to focus on strength training, endurance, or overall wellness, he can commit fully without having to accommodate another person's schedule or preferences. His discipline in maintaining his physical health not only improves his overall well-being, but also strengthens his mental resilience and confidence. Mental and emotional growth are also key areas of development for a man who lives alone. Without the emotional dependency that can sometimes come with relationships, he learns to manage his thoughts, emotions, and inner conflicts independently. He becomes more self-aware, recognizing his strengths and weaknesses without needing external validation. He learns to deal with challenges on his own, developing emotional resilience that allows him to handle stress, failure, and uncertainty with confidence. This self-awareness leads to a greater understanding of his values, desires, and long-term vision for his life. Creativity flourishes in solitude. Without the distractions of a relationship, he has the space to explore creative pursuits fully. Whether it's writing, painting, music, film, or any other artistic endeavor, He can immerse himself completely in his craft. His mind is free to think deeply, experiment, and push boundaries without worrying about how his partner might perceive his work or how much time he is dedicating to it. Many great artists, writers, and thinkers have thrived in solitude, using their independence to create masterpieces that impact the world. His ability to channel his creativity without restriction allows him to produce meaningful work that reflects his true self. Self-discipline becomes a fundamental trait for a man who lives alone, without anyone holding him accountable for his actions. He must develop strong habits and routines to stay productive and motivated. He learns to set goals and follow through on them without external encouragement. Whether it's waking up early, maintaining a structured daily routine, or staying committed to personal projects, he cultivates a level of discipline that keeps him moving forward. This ability to regulate his own life without external pressure strengthens his character and ensures that he continues to grow and evolve over time. Social growth is also a crucial aspect of his journey. Contrary to the assumption that living alone leads to isolation, a man who prioritizes personal growth actively builds and maintains meaningful connections. He chooses his friendships based on shared values and interests rather than convenience or obligation. He engages in conversations that challenge him intellectually, surrounds himself with people who inspire him, and learns from different perspectives. His social interactions become more intentional and fulfilling because they are based on genuine connections rather than the necessity of having a partner. The ability to focus on personal growth without distraction allows a man to shape his own identity, refine his skills, and pursue his ambitions with clarity. He does not rely on a relationship to define his worth or give him direction. Instead, he takes full responsibility for his own journey, continuously improving himself in every area of life. The challenges of solitude are an inevitable aspect of a man who lives alone without a girlfriend. While independence and self-sufficiency bring freedom and personal growth, solitude also comes with its own set of difficulties. These challenges are not always visible on the surface, but they shape a man's emotional, psychological, and social experiences in profound ways. Living alone means facing life's struggles without the immediate comfort of a partner, which can lead to moments of isolation, self-doubt, and the need for a deeper sense of purpose to maintain balance. One of the most significant difficulties of solitude is the lack of emotional support. In relationships, there is often someone to share daily thoughts, challenges, and victories with, someone who provides comfort in difficult moments and reassurance during times of uncertainty. A man who lives alone does not have this automatic source of encouragement, which means he must rely on himself to process emotions, manage stress, and find motivation. While this independence strengthens his resilience, there are times when the absence of a supportive presence can make difficult situations feel heavier. Moments of personal failure, disappointment, or loneliness require a strong mindset to navigate because there is no immediate external validation to provide relief. Another challenge is the absence of physical intimacy and companionship. Human beings naturally seek connection, and physical presence plays a role in emotional well-being. A man who lives alone may not experience the small, everyday interactions that relationships provide, such as holding hands, casual conversations, or the comfort of another person's presence after a long day. While he may develop a strong sense of independence, he must also find ways to fulfill his need for human connection through friendships, social interactions, and personal interests. However, these interactions are often different from the deeper level of intimacy that a romantic relationship can provide, which can sometimes create a sense of emotional distance from others. Decision fatigue is another challenge that comes with solitude. In relationships, major life decisions are often shared, allowing for different perspectives and support in making choices. A man who lives alone must make every decision on his own, from the simplest daily tasks to major life changes. While this level of control can be empowering, it can also become mentally exhausting. Constantly having to decide everything alone, without feedback or a second opinion, can sometimes lead to self-doubt or hesitation. There is no one to challenge his thoughts, offer alternative viewpoints, or provide reassurance when he is uncertain about a path he is taking. The structure of daily life can also become a challenge over time. In relationships, there is often a shared routine with responsibilities and activities balanced between two people. A man who lives alone must create his own structure, ensuring that he remains productive, disciplined, and engaged. Without an external motivator, it is easy to fall into unstructured habits where time is not used efficiently. The absence of someone to hold him accountable means he must be entirely self-disciplined in managing his time, goals, and daily responsibilities. A lack of routine or purpose can lead to a sense of stagnation, making it essential for him to develop habits that keep him moving forward. Social isolation is another potential difficulty. While friendships and social networks can provide companionship, they often require more effort to maintain when a man lives alone. Unlike those in relationships who naturally engage in social activities as a couple, a man without a girlfriend must be intentional about staying socially connected. If he does not actively nurture his friendships or participate in group activities, he may find himself feeling disconnected from others. The challenge is not only maintaining social relationships, but also ensuring that they are meaningful and fulfilling. Some friendships may not provide the depth of emotional support that a romantic relationship offers, leaving a gap in emotional connection. The perception of society can also create an internal struggle. In many cultures, being single for an extended period is often questioned, and there is an expectation that a man should eventually seek a partner. Family members, colleagues, and even acquaintances may ask why he is not in a relationship, sometimes implying that his solitude is a sign of failure or incompleteness. Over time, these external pressures can create self-doubt, making him question whether his choice to live alone is truly fulfilling or if he is missing out on something essential. While he may be content with his lifestyle, constant societal reminders can challenge his confidence in his path. There's also the challenge of having no one to share personal milestones with. Achievements, promotions, new experiences, and personal victories are often more meaningful when shared. A man who lives alone experiences these moments without the immediate joy of celebrating with a close partner. While he may share them with friends or family, it is different from the kind of deep emotional connection that comes from a partner who understands his journey on a more intimate level. Over time, this lack of shared experiences can lead to a feeling of emotional solitude, where success feels somewhat incomplete because there is no one to truly witness it in a deeply personal way. The unpredictability of life is another challenge that can be difficult to face alone. Unexpected health issues, financial setbacks, or personal crises can feel heavier when there is no one to rely on for immediate support. In relationships, partners often act as a safety net, providing assistance and comfort during tough times. A man who lives alone must always be prepared to handle unexpected situations independently, which requires a high level of preparedness, resourcefulness, and resilience. He must build a strong support system outside of romantic relationships, ensuring that he has close friends, family, or mentors who can provide assistance when needed. Despite the many strengths that come with solitude, these challenges require constant self-awareness and proactive efforts to maintain emotional and mental balance. Living alone without a girlfriend is not simply about independence. It is about learning how to navigate both the advantages and the difficulties that come with solitude. Society often places expectations on individuals, particularly when it comes to relationships. A man who lives alone without a girlfriend frequently faces societal judgment, whether openly or subtly. The traditional narrative suggests that happiness and fulfillment come from being in a relationship, and when a man chooses to remain single, he is often met with questions, assumptions, and even concern from those around him. These external pressures can create internal conflicts, forcing him to constantly evaluate whether his choices align with societal norms or his own personal fulfillment. One of the most common societal expectations is that a man should eventually settle down, get married, and start a family. In many cultures, this is considered a natural progression in life, and anyone who deviates from this path is often seen as unusual or incomplete. A man who lives alone without a romantic partner is frequently asked when he plans to get married, or if he has trouble finding someone. These questions may come from well-meaning family members, friends, or even colleagues who assume that his single status is temporary or a problem that needs to be solved. The idea that a man could be single by choice is often overlooked, and instead, people assume he is either unlucky in love or avoiding responsibility. There is also a widespread belief that being in a relationship is a sign of emotional and social success. Society often equates companionship with stability, suggesting that a man who has a partner is more mature, reliable, and capable of commitment. A man who lives alone may be perceived as someone who avoids deep emotional connections or fears commitment, even if this is not the case. This assumption can affect how others view him in both personal and professional settings, sometimes leading to the belief that he is not as dependable as a man who is in a stable relationship. Cultural and familial expectations play a significant role in how a single man is perceived. In many families, especially those with traditional values, there is an expectation that a man will find a partner and start a family to continue the lineage. When he remains single for an extended period, his family may express concern, assuming that something is wrong with him or that he is delaying an important part of life. Parents and relatives may pressure him to settle down, sometimes arranging introductions or suggesting potential partners. This kind of pressure can be overwhelming, making him feel as if he is disappointing those around him simply by choosing a different path. Media and entertainment also reinforce societal expectations about relationships. Movies, television shows, and advertisements often depict romance as the ultimate goal in life. Love stories dominate popular culture, reinforcing the idea that happiness is only complete when shared with a significant other. For a man who lives alone, this constant messaging can create moments of doubt, making him question whether he is truly fulfilled or if he is missing out on something essential. While he may be content with his lifestyle, the overwhelming presence of romantic narratives in society can make him feel as if he is not living up to a standard that is expected of him. In social settings, being single can sometimes feel isolating, especially in environments where most people are in relationships. Gatherings with friends, family events, or workplace interactions often involve discussions about partners, marriage, and family life. A man who lives alone may find himself as the odd one out, either having to explain his choice repeatedly or feeling disconnected from conversations that revolve around relationships. While he may enjoy his independence, these moments serve as reminders that his path is different from the majority, sometimes making him feel as if he must justify his lifestyle to others. There is also an economic and societal bias toward couples. Many aspects of modern life are designed for those in relationships, from housing arrangements to vacation packages and even social events. A single man may find that renting an apartment is more expensive without a partner to share costs, or that traveling alone is met with higher expenses and fewer options. Social events often cater to couples, making it more challenging for a single man to participate in certain experiences without feeling out of place. This structural bias reinforces the idea that being in a relationship is the norm, while living alone is an exception that comes with added challenges. Workplace dynamics can also be influenced by societal expectations. Married men or those in relationships are often viewed as more responsible, mature, or stable, while single men may be seen as less settled or even more reckless. In some industries, there is an unspoken bias that favors those who appear to have a traditional lifestyle, assuming that they are more dependable and focused. A single man who lives alone may have to work harder to prove that he is just as committed and capable as his peers who have families. These assumptions, while not always intentional, can impact career growth and professional relationships. Despite these societal pressures, a man who chooses to live alone must develop the confidence to stand by his decision without feeling the need to conform. He learns to navigate questions, assumptions, and expectations with a strong sense of self-awareness, understanding that his happiness is not determined by meeting external standards, but by following his own path. While societal norms may push him toward relationships, his ability to remain content and focused on his own journey demonstrates a level of independence and self-assurance that many people struggle to attain. The freedom to design life on one's own terms is one of the most significant advantages for a man who lives alone without a girlfriend. Without the compromises and adjustments that come with being in a relationship, he has complete autonomy over his decisions, time, and priorities. His life is not dictated by the expectations, needs, or preferences of another person, allowing him to create a lifestyle that aligns perfectly with his personal values, ambitions, and desires. This level of independence provides an unmatched sense of control, giving him the ability to navigate life in a way that is entirely his own. One of the most liberating aspects of living alone is the ability to manage time without restrictions. Every hour of the day belongs to him, and he has full authority over how he spends it. There is no need to coordinate schedules, balance relationship obligations, or sacrifice personal interests to accommodate a partner. He can dedicate his mornings to exercise, spend afternoons working on his career goals, and use his evenings however he chooses. Whether that means learning new skills, enjoying solitude, or socializing on his own terms. The absence of relationship commitments allows him to maximize productivity and fully immerse himself in the pursuits that matter most to him. His financial independence is another key benefit of designing life on his own terms. Without the financial responsibilities that often come with being in a relationship, such as date nights, gifts, shared expenses, or long-term financial planning with a partner, he has the freedom to allocate his resources however he sees fit. He can invest in personal development, travel, explore new hobbies, or build wealth without needing to consult or compromise with another person. His money is spent based on his priorities, ensuring that every financial decision aligns with his long-term goals and aspirations. Living alone also grants him the ability to shape his environment to match his preferences. He has complete control over his living space, from the organization and aesthetics to the level of cleanliness and structure he maintains. There are no debates about decor, no adjustments to accommodate someone else's habits, and no disruptions to his personal routine. Whether he enjoys a minimalist setting, a highly structured space, or an environment that reflects his artistic interests, he is free to create a home that fully represents who he is. This level of control over his surroundings enhances his sense of comfort, peace, and self-expression. His social life is entirely dictated by his own desires rather than the expectations that come with a relationship. He can choose when, where, and with whom he spends his time, without the need to balance social obligations with a partner's preferences. He has the flexibility to maintain friendships on his own terms, explore different social circles, and build connections that align with his personal and professional interests. There is no pressure to engage in social events out of obligation, and he can focus on relationships that bring genuine value to his life. His interactions are intentional rather than obligatory, allowing him to cultivate meaningful and fulfilling connections. Travel and exploration become more accessible and fulfilling when life is designed independently. A man who lives alone does not have to coordinate travel plans with a partner or consider their preferences when choosing destinations. He has the freedom to explore new places on a whim, take spontaneous trips, and immerse himself in experiences that excite him without restriction. He can travel solo to gain new perspectives, challenge himself, and discover cultures in a way that is deeply personal. The ability to move freely without constraints allows him to experience life with a sense of adventure and spontaneity that is often limited by relationships. Another significant advantage of designing life on his own terms is the freedom to take risks without hesitation. When a man is in a relationship, major life decisions such as career moves, financial investments, or lifestyle changes often require discussions and compromises. Living alone means he can take bold steps without considering how they will affect a partner. Whether he wants to switch careers, start a business, relocate to a new city, or pursue an unconventional lifestyle, he has the autonomy to make those decisions without seeking approval. This level of freedom enables him to evolve continuously, explore different paths, and adapt to new opportunities without limitations. The ability to embrace solitude and self-discovery is one of the most valuable aspects of living independently. Without the external influences of a relationship, he can fully understand who he is, what he values, and what he wants out of life. He has a space to reflect, grow, and develop a deep sense of self-awareness. This personal clarity allows him to make decisions that align with his true desires rather than conforming to societal expectations or relationship pressures. His identity is not shaped by a partner, but by his own choices, experiences, and aspirations. Health and well-being can also be prioritized in a way that suits his lifestyle. He has the flexibility to maintain a diet that aligns with his health goals, exercise at his own pace, and establish wellness routines that support his physical and mental health. There are no compromises when it comes to self-care, and he has the time and space to engage in practices that contribute to long-term well-being. Whether it's meditation, outdoor activities, or personal fitness goals, he can focus entirely on his own self-improvement without external influences affecting his routine. Living independently offers an unmatched sense of control, allowing a man to create a life that aligns perfectly with his vision. Every decision, from the smallest daily habit to the biggest life choices, is made with full autonomy. His time, finances, environment, social interactions, and personal growth are all dictated by his own desires, providing him with a lifestyle that is uniquely his own. Life is not defined by relationship status, but by the choices one makes and the freedom one embraces. A man who lives alone without a girlfriend is not incomplete, nor is he lost. He is simply walking a path that is different from what society expects. His journey is one of self-discovery, personal growth, and autonomy, allowing him to live life on his own terms. While solitude presents its challenges, it also offers a rare opportunity to build a life without compromise, to focus on passions without distraction, and to shape an existence that aligns with his deepest values. The world often views singlehood as a temporary state, a phase to be transitioned out of. But for some men, it is not a phase. It is a conscious decision, one that provides peace, purpose, and power. Whether by choice or circumstance, living alone is not a weakness. It is a testament to independence. It is proof that happiness does not require validation from others, but can be cultivated from within. In the end, the measure of a fulfilling life is not whether one has a partner, but whether one has lived authentically. A man who stands alone is not lonely, he is free. And in that freedom, he finds everything he truly needs.